I'm in my 40s. One of the biggest things I regret is not investing in my retirement much earlier. I really wish I had opened my IRA much earlier than I did. I didn't open my IRA until I
Mm.
was about 31, 32. And for the longest time, I talked myself out of it saying, I don't make a lot of money. I don't have enough money to invest. And looking back, that was the biggest crock of shit because investing for your retirement is a marathon, not a sprint. So for those of you that haven't opened your IRA yet, what's stopping you? Be honest. I don't have a
Oh my goodness, that was great. That's great advice. That's one of my regrets too. I feel like I started kind of late as well. I'm referring to my Roth IRA. And if you don't know about Roth IRAs, I'm not a financial advisor, but basically after you retire, that money can grow tax free. And it can grow tax free. You can take it out tax free. And it's basically just going to compound. And, you have a limit every year. And so you should take advantage of it while you can because it can actually be something significant by the time you actually reach the required age. And yeah, the sooner the better, right? The sooner the better. Like she said, she started in her 30s, I believe. And shoot, if you can get in there in your 20s, you know, I would definitely recommend you do that. So I love that. We're starting off good already. Get some positivity.
lot of regrets in my life, but my choice in college was potentially the worst decision I could have ever made. And almost 2 decades later, I am still paying for. Not financially,
Mm.
thankfully. I mean, I was paying for that for a very long time. But socially, romantically, professionally, financially, for a very long time, up until a couple of
Oh.
years ago, it was a huge mistake. And if there's any one decision in my life I could have done differently, it would have been not attending the school that I went to. And I would never tell young people to not go to college. I still think college is very important, but I do think the choice in school that you make is incredibly important. Or if you get somewhere and it is not serving you, baby, transfer, leave. Do not stay in a bad situation.
What is one regret that you
I think that's a lot of people's regret. I think that's a lot of people's regret as far as the school that they chose and maybe even the major that they chose and maybe even how much debt that they chose to put themselves in. I was expecting her to say more her profession though because she mentioned that it affected her relationship still to this day and it affects a lot of things and she said like it doesn't cost her financially anymore. So it sounds like she actually paid off her debt. So I'm kind of curious why is she saying the school, like how the school can impact you at this stage if you've already paid your debt off. I can see if it's your career and you just say, I'm in a career and I'm not able to have really a life. I have to put so much into the career. It requires a lot of me. Then I understand. But she's pretty hung up on the school, so I'm not sure what she means. But I think a lot of people can relate to a regret of, involving school for whatever reason it can be, it can involve school, whether it's the debt, whether it's the major that you chose to do, or even whether it's just wasting your time, right? Just spending 4 years of your life on something and getting a degree for maybe a career that didn't even need a degree. That's a common one too.
have?
I'm traveling a lot now, but it would have been a lot better if I'd done it younger.
And so, was there a particular reason why you weren't able to do it then?
I always thought there was another chance coming up, and there wasn't until now. But so I'm catching up.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I feel like whether it's traveling or like taking some type of risk or something that we want to do in life, a lot of people fall into that of like there's going to be another day or there's another chance. So, what advice do you have for people who are currently going through that right now?
Everybody's heard it. It sees the day. Okay.
Mm.
It's yes, you're in a new town, let's say, and you've heard of something. Go do it.
My biggest regret in my life was a
I love this. I love this. And I love hearing what older people regret, right? I feel like that's where the most value is going to come from when you're asking about life regrets. Because really think about the fact like he's saying he probably focused on his career, probably focused on his family, and he was just so much internal vision at the time. And now when he gets older and he's hit all his goals, all his accomplishments, the things that he thought would fulfill him, and then he looks back and he's like, "Oh wow, I wasted some very valuable years." And I get caught up in that too. I'm not gonna lie, I get caught up in that too. Um, just go, 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 and you're not looking around to smell the roses. Matter of fact, I need to go get some roses. I like to get roses sometimes, because it reminds me to stop and smell the roses. But yeah, I definitely agree. If you guys are curious what my regret is, the biggest first one that comes to mind right now is I regret not getting on YouTube. I feel like things would have panned out a lot easier had I got on a lot sooner, but I procrastinated. And yeah, don't procrastinate. I saw a quote, and it talks about intelligence, and the quote goes, "The basically intelligence is just basically the rate at which you can change your behavior, right? How quickly you can go from awareness to change behavior. That's intelligence." So I realized procrastination was a thing, and now I try to just jump, right? I try to just go, and I try not to wait and procrastinate too much. And I feel like that's the intelligent thing to do.
Time where I really thought that I had to explain myself to everybody. It wasn't enough that I knew who I was. It wasn't enough that I felt that God knew who I was and loved me despite my flaws or what I thought were flaws. Like, it didn't matter. I felt that everyone needed to understand me. I had this
Oh
fear
man.
of being
Hmm.
misunderstood. And I really regret that time. And I really wish I could take back that time because I poured out so much that I should have kept for myself. So many conversations that should have just stayed between me and God. And I let other people who don't even deserve all that information in. And the gag at the situation is nobody cares.
These are really good. These are really good regrets. People are really sharing. And I love his. I mean, yeah, the fear of being misunderstood. With some people that, like he said, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. And you spent your whole life worried about the opinions of people who don't even really care. They could care less. So I feel like that's a great one. And then also oversharing. I feel like a lot of insecure people have to overshare. And that might have been him at one point, right? That was me at one point, maybe. But yeah, I mean, everybody doesn't need to know everything, you know. Sometimes we do that, out of nervousness or whatever it could be. But some things you can just keep to yourself. We see it. Why do you think I have so much content to react to? Because people oversharing things that we don't need to hear, right? They come on here. There's people oversharing, committing federal crimes, defrauding food stamps. Like, oh my goodness.
2 and 3 months. And my biggest regret in life is not putting my hands on people. It's simply not assaulting people when I was in school. Because every time I sit back and I think about what I let slide, what I let people say, what I let people
Exhibit it. We didn't need to know that. We were doing so good. People were being positive. We were gaining a lot of value, a lot of insight. And then here goes this chick. She's gonna make me some money. I'll tell you that much.
do, and how my only retaliation would be to speak back. No, I should have been taking water bottles, lunch bags, book bag, chairs upside people's head. I don't know why I waited, because now I'm an adult and now it's like I can't fight people because I'm gonna go to jail, I'm gonna get an assault charge, da da da. But back then when I was a kid, oh my gosh, I feel like if I could go back in time, I would tell younger me, hey, beat that, beat her up, beat her up, beat her up, beat.
She wish she could tell younger her, right? So what you think she gonna tell her kids? What type of advice you think she gonna tell her kids? And then did you all see that woman in Chicago who just got attacked by all those kids? And it's because parents like this, women like this. Really? So you're grown now, and that's the wisdom that you took away from your childhood, you still wish you to beat up some kids, and you just wish you could just beat everybody up and put your hands on everybody. So this is probably what she's going to pour into her kids. These are the golden times. Beat that, et cetera, et cetera. We were doing so good, and then here this go.
Beat her up, beat him up, beat him up, beat everybody up.
Beat
Grab
him
them
up.
thick textbooks that they made y'all carry around and just lose your mind. Lose your mind because you're a kid and you're gonna be okay. Like you're gonna be okay because you're a kid. You're figuring things out. You're gonna be okay. But now, if I were to take this MacBook upside somebody's head in the middle of a cafe, I'm gonna be looked at as crazy. They gonna put me in jail.
I just want to say my biggest
So that's what's going on in her head. Bat-ish crazy. From pillar to post. Just bat-ish crazy. And this is who's going to be raised in the next generation. And that's why it's going to be so much degeneracy roaming these streets. Because that's who's going to be raising them. And I tell you this too, right? Because she's got the girls out, right? Don't fall for it, gentlemen. Let me tell you something. I don't envy the brother that's going to decide to get with her, procreate with her. You're a glutton for punishment if that's what you decide. And see, you got to have that discerning eye. If y'all haven't seen my latest self improvement video about the discerning eye, you got to have that discerning eye because she may not show up like that when you start dealing with her, but you got to be able to look beneath the surface and really see what you're dealing with because you end up deciding to invest in that and make certain permanent decisions with that, and you're going to be in for a lifetime of pain. I hate that we had to end it on that note because it was such a good and positive video, but it's okay. She's going to make me profitable. But y'all like the video. Also subscribe if you want to join the Legion. Cash app link below if you want to buy your boy iced coffee. And feel free to join the Patreon where I post self improvement content. Until then, I'll catch you in the next video.